Let's talk about Jeff Bezos. Interesting face. I mean, you can't look at the face and go, what's up with those eyes? I mean, I had to look so carefully. Sometimes you'll see this in someone that's had an artificial eye, and the iris looks too identical to the other one, so it can't be an artificial eye, but there's such a dramatic difference. If you cut his face in half and you took that left side and put it on the right side, that imaging, you would not recognize the guy, and vice versa. There's such a two-sidedness to his face. Does that mean he's two-faced? Not necessarily. There's just a dramatic change. So a lot of this comes from genetics and where he took a lot of his energy and power from. We'll cover that as we go along here. So there's 9 face shapes, and he's a combination between an iron face, strong, stable, stubborn, very Winston Churchill, George Patton, George C. Scott kind of face, and a bucket face. Again, the iron face, strong, stable, stubborn, give him a job, he's going to get it done, persevere in things he's interested in. If he's not interested, nothing. The bucket quality is about putting things in the bucket. High intellect, progressive thinker, enjoys the process of thinking, a thought leader, a very intellectually persistent, very intellectual. And that forehead, more is more, less is less in my the basic rule in face reading. And he's got a really big forehead. What's behind that cranial bone? Well, or that frontal bone, that's brains, and he's got a lot of them. His eyebrows are very straight, which means he's very straightforward and very to the point and probably pretty abrupt. His ears are forward facing. This always an interesting feature. He was probably ADD as a kid, because ADD kids. So what this means, you hear everything and you just don't listen, which is an ADD in a nutshell. My guess, he had some ADD as a kid. Probably didn't call it then when he was a kid, but probably had it. It also means he likes to hear his own voice. Is that a negative? Not necessarily. His voice needs to be heard. Then he needs to hear what his voice has to say. So it's an interesting thing. We're going to go to the eyes. One of the basic tenets in my book, Why the Face, I wrote with my daughter Abby. The right eye is what we show to the world. It's our public persona, and it's our mother's influence. How do we know which is mom and which is dad? Well, mom's always right, so mom's on the right side. It's what we show to the world. It's what we want the world to see. And this is the most unique right eye I've ever looked at in my career, and I've looked at tens of thousands of faces. The left eye on the other side of the face, obviously, is our private inner true self, and it's our father's influence. So if you cover up this guy, Jeff's left eye, you look at that right eye, he's just got, I don't care what you think. Almost I could hoodwink anybody I wanted to. I'm not trying to insult you, Jeff. I'm just saying that eye is just that. Now, swap it over and go, who's this guy? I don't recognize him. This guy sees everything. Nothing goes unnoticed by this guy. That eye is, man, it's there and it's hyper-focused and it sees everything that's going on. This guy knows every aspect of his business in depth. It's a fascinating difference in that eye. I've never seen that on a right eye in my career. Fascinating. And then you can't ignore the jaw. Look at how much more dramatic that jaw is on that left side of his face. Jaw's about determination. He got his determination from his father. Can't say his relationship was maybe the best with his father based on a couple things. Had some issues with females too. We'll come to that here in a second when we talk about adrenals. But he just got a lot of his power from his father. But again, probably an interesting relationship with his father. Now, health-wise, again, I can't look at a face and not look at it from a health standpoint. Very strong constitution, so this man can push himself and not know he's hurting himself. Pay attention to that, Mr. B. It's important. Notice the hoodedness of that left upper eyelid. This is a gallbladder indicator. It's on the left side, so this is kind of an inherited trait or an energy that he picked up from his dad. The emotion of the gallbladder in traditional Chinese medicine is anger. My guess his dad was a bit of an angry man, and it just went into his DNA, and it can come out when he probably doesn't want it to come out. But then we go over to the left side, the right side, And we see underneath his eye that dramatic line that isn't on the other side. And that has to do with stress, and that stress is from a female. Don't know his marital bliss situation, but chances are there was some less than blissful moments with regard to a female, because that's a deep line, and that is female-induced, Mr. B. Just saying. And then the last line we're going to point out is right underneath on his chin. That's a prostate indicator. And again, for us guys, it's not if, it's when. So thank you, Mr. B, for your incredibly interesting, never seen before right eye. Hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed these videos and want to learn more, simply go to WTFWhyTheFace.com. You can get your face read, you can buy our book, you can get our masterclass, lots of interesting stuff. Hope you enjoy it all.